In Southwest Asia, by the Arabian Gulf and Red Sea, a little-known story of life. In a land steeped in history and landscapes shaped through millennia. Prepare your senses for Saudi Arabia's wildest secrets. Above the refreshing waves and under the water, a world of wonder thrives. Families of diverse animals live, travel, hunt, and feed in harmony. The Red Sea is home to a wealth of marine life. Nestled in its southeastern corner, the Farallon Islands and their waters are a Man and Biosphere program by UNESCO. This archipelago of around 180 coral islands is protected for its rich biodiversity. Hidden beneath the surface is an abundance of marine life. From the smallest shoals of fish to the majestic manta ray, whose wingspan can exceed 6 meters. Possibly one of the most prized sightings underwater is the magnificent whale shark, with its delicately spotted markings. Despite only feeding on plankton and small fish, they can grow up to 12 meters in length. Sharks, fast and efficient hunters, feared by some, are also crucial to the stability of this undersea habitat. turtles play an important role in the ecological balance of underwater life. They feed on a variety of sponges. If left alone, the sponges can slow and hinder the growth of coral reefs. As well, their continuous grazing of seagrass in shallow waters keeps it from growing rampant. Healthy seagrass beds are important for oxygenation and carbon reduction. Inadvertently, the turtle's diet promotes a healthy ocean life. Mangrove forests range the southwestern waters of the Jazan region. Mangroves are an invaluable natural carbon sink, sequestering more carbon per square mile than tropical forests. The mangroves also help create sheltered lagoons, and greater flamingos flock here to the shallow waters in their hundreds to feed and mate. These are the largest of all flamingos, averaging 1.1 to 1.5 meters tall. Flamingos are omnivores, and their diet of algae, shrimp, and crustaceans result in their vibrant pink plumage. Their method of eating is unique. With their heads inverted, they work with their bristly tongues. The bent shape of the bill aids in filtering the mud and silt from their food. In between their meals, flamingos make their nests of mud. These low mounds keep the eggs out of the salt water and provide slightly cooler temperatures. In the colder seasons, many of the greater flamingos migrate to warmer climates, from India to southern Africa. Due to global warming and the climatic changes on our planet, their habitats are becoming more and more disrupted. They are forced to move to more favorable habitats. Arabian gazelle are shy creatures. This particular subspecies is endemic and rare. They graze and browse the native plants, adapted perfectly for surviving in this harsh landscape. Hunted and persecuted for decades, they are nervous animals, always keeping an eye out for danger. mangroves are also home to the pink-backed pelican. They are gregarious and live in colonies. Their nests are strong and durable, often lasting years, and are made in the safety and security of the treetops. The pelicans take to the air to find their food and scan with their keen eyesight. Their fishing technique is to hunt singly or in groups. When on the water, they stab with their beaks at lightning speed to scoop up fish into their pouch, which can expand in size. They then let the water drain before swallowing their prey. With their stomachs full and appetites met, they return to safe roosts. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is known for its vast rocky landscapes, home to the world's largest sand deserts. The oryx are Saudi's most iconic species. They are the symbol of the desert and are well adapted to live here. Their distinctive white fur helps them thermoregulate their bodies by reflecting the harsh sunlight. So, despite the desert regularly reaching above 55 degrees centigrade, these antelope are able to maintain their body temperatures at around 38 degrees centigrade. Oryx are social, and their herds range in size, from single pairs to several dozen animals. Outside the breeding season, the males will often live in bachelor herds, or on their own, roaming the landscape for food, water, and shade. Even though they are the world's smallest species of oryx, their tall, elegant horns are well proportioned for their size and reach lengths of 70 centimeters. The horns evolved to serve two purposes, primarily as protection against predators, and secondly, for the males to joust in courtship. Their lives are nomadic, and their journey is endless. Spring is the prime season for dust sandstorms. They are the sculptors of the landscape, ever changing the terrain over millennia. Fast, aggressive winds build and shape rolling dunes, some as high as 250 meters. Winds can reach 80 kilometers per hour, carving even the hardest rocks. Animals have no choice but to take shelter until they subside. The oryx turn their backs and face downwind to protect their eyes. It's impossible to fly during a sandstorm, so birds land and seek refuge amongst the rocks. Despite their size, desert ants are extremely well suited to the environment. In their thousands, they harvest the scattered seeds dislodged by the storm and take them back to their nests underground to stock their larder. Surviving the intensity of the desert is a game of energy conservation. In the long periods of time between meals, the desert agama soaks up sunlight. Cold-blooded reptiles rely on intense heat, retaining the warmth to last them the cool desert nights. In landscapes where food is abundant, things can be a little more relaxed. Living in the desert is a challenge for all. The gazelle cannot withstand the sun for too long. It is vital for them to find shade, to prevent their bodies from overheating and regulate at healthy levels. The landscape is unforgiving. In the summer, food is scarce and hard to find. Stamina and energy conservation are essential to lasting in the desert. This is the redneck African ostrich. They were brought to Saudi in 1994, replacing the Arabian ostrich that went extinct in 1941. They are well suited for the desert, withstanding hot temperatures and surviving on moisture from the plants they eat. To aid digestion, ostriches eat sand and small stones alongside their diet of seeds and roots, insects, and reptiles. Their feathers are loose, soft, and smooth, which can keep them cool in the heat. In small groups, they range the local flora. In the southwest corner of Saudi Arabia stands the Asir Mountains. Rising over 9,000 feet above sea level, it's the perfect vantage spot for a bird of prey. The griffon vulture has evolved to be one of the world's most efficient flyers. With their broad wingspan of over 2.5 meters, they can soar on thermal updrafts with ease, flying all day with barely a wing flap for prolonged periods to spot their next meal. Like other vultures, they are scavengers. With their extremely keen eyesight, they can spot a carcass from up to 10 kilometers. Despite it being harsh and dry, the Nubian ibex managed to scrape a living in this challenging environment. This beige ibex, with its distinctive large curved horns, grazes and browses on grasses and shrubs, and although the ibex needs to drink, they can go days without water. High above the dry deserts rise the Asir Mountains. Every day, magic happens here. Warm, moist air from the coast condenses as it ascends to the mountaintops. Rolling clouds and fog pass through as the temperature drops, providing moisture to the local trees. In this rough and rocky range, junipers thrive, even at 9,000 feet above sea level, but not without help. Draped over the branches hang curtains of bromeliads. The trees provide a frame on which these plants can grow, and in return, the bromeliads capture and share moisture with its host. Native to this region are Hamadryas baboons. Their troops can consist of as many as 100 individuals. Together, they navigate the rocky slopes, ascending and descending the mountain, depending on the season and temperature. Baboons are omnivorous and feed on pretty much anything, including buckthorn, acacia, wildflowers, birds' eggs, insects, and reptiles. The youngsters are playful. This is how they develop their social skills. Living at these altitudes has its advantages. However, accidents happen. One misstep can result in injury. Despite these hardships, like all families, they remain together. As the sun starts to set, they climb to sleep in the cliffs. With temperatures increasing globally, it's not only the wildlife that suffers. Dry, arid environments can be recipes for disaster in warmer climates. Wildfires are a natural phenomena, but are becoming more frequent and severe as temperatures rise, and human-induced factors increase. Once they start, they are hard to contain, particularly in remote regions, and can ruthlessly decimate landscapes. Vast areas of forests can be engulfed in a matter of days, leaving them scorched, black, and bare. Habitats scarred, desolate, and barren. Charred wood and ash is often all that remains. Few are lucky to survive the intense heat and harsh flames. However, whilst unfortunate, this is all part of a natural cycle. The seasonal drop in temperatures bring heavy rain and storms, replenishing the parched earth and offering relief to the land. Nutrients and moisture are returned. Life is given another chance to start again, to bounce back and thrive. Life always finds a way. Deeper in the valleys, all of nature's ingredients come together. The recipe for abundant life. The result? An oasis. Heaven in a desert. Just add water and plants of all varieties, wildlife of all shapes and sizes, thrive. Traveling through the kingdom, it remains clear that water brings life. Beneath even the shallow waters of trickling streams, the toad is able to grow, hunt, and mate. Their small lives are the result of this delicate balance, much needed for a strong, healthy ecosystem. On the Shada Mountain, honeybees frequent aloe plants for pollen. This is to produce honey, food for their colonies. The Palestine sunbird also visits the floral bounty. The male is a flying gem of iridescent colors. Their bill is long and down-curved, adapted to extract nectar from flowers. Birds play a role in forest growth, spreading seeds as they feed. The African gray hornbill feast on the cacti fruit. Paddle cactus produce prickly pears, and they are nutritious to the bird. Rupal weavers skillfully source grass, twigs, and roots to thread pendulous nests in the trees, to lay their eggs and raise their chicks. Camels have long been an integral part of the country. Their presence here is as ancient as ours. The milk produced by camels is tasty. It's high in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. It has long played a part of the Saudi diet. There's an increased effort to switch to agroecology, a farming discipline that's better at sustaining the land. This technique eases the stress on the landscape and reduces the use of water. Fig trees are resilient with deep roots and can survive on sparse amounts of rainfall. Using better farming and cultivation practices means we can enjoy nature's bounty, such as papaya and oranges, while minimizing damage to the planet. If we're going to live and survive with nature, we must adapt and strike a balance that sustains local ecosystems. In Asir City, traditional beekeeping practices have been passed down by generations of farmers for centuries. There are an estimated 4,000 beekeepers, tending a staggering 700,000 beehives. Our relationship with this insect is symbiotic. We provide them a home to colonize, and in return, we harvest their honey. Around 3,500 tons of honey are harvested every year. Approximately 70% of the bees kept here are native Apis populations. The chameleon lives among banana plants. They feed on flies and insects attracted to the sweet fruit sugars. With opposing toes on each foot, they're able to make a firm grasp of the twigs and branches as they climb, and can use their prehensile tails as a fifth hand, wrapping it around any shape to anchor their position as they move and hunt. Their two eyes can swivel independently, perfect for keeping an eye out for prey, as well as avoiding predators. One of Saudi Arabia's greatest animals is in trouble. This is the Arabian leopard. Through conservation initiatives, the Royal Commission for Al-Ula aims to restore the Arabian leopard population. The final goal: reintroduce the species into the wilderness, to the mountains of Al-Ula. At the center, using CCTV, the caretakers monitor the leopards day and night. Classified as critically endangered by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, it is estimated that fewer than 200 Arabian leopards are left in the wild. It's up to us to look after these globally threatened animals. In the future, we hope to see more of these animals in the wild. Meanwhile, it's our duty to ensure their well-being. This includes letting them play to get some exercise. These are the fishermen of the Farasan Island. There is no industrial fishing here. Fishing here is treated as a respectful artisan practice only. There is a collective effort to protect the balance of species and to not overfish in order to maintain healthy stocks. Here, men fish with hand-thrown nets. Afterwards, they return to the port with their catch, where the fish are sold to locals on the coast. Adult turtles lay their eggs on the beach. They have nested on our sandy shores for thousands of years. They do so at night in the safety of darkness. After the eggs are laid, they return to the water. Once hatched, the baby turtles instinctively move towards the brightest light. Usually, this would lead them to the ocean as they crawl toward the night sky spanning above. Cities and traffic lights confuse them and lead them astray. These beaches have drastically changed. Plastic waste pollutes the once soft sands and creates obstacles for the turtles trying to reach the water. Humans have made it harder for them to survive, and over the years, fewer turtles make it safely to the ocean. However, our wrongs can be righted. In the early morning, rangers patrol the fence between the beach and the city. They look for stragglers, the survivors of the night, and bring them to the ocean. This small act has saved many turtles, but every effort must be made to clean our beaches too. Perhaps we should redesign coastal city lighting as to not mislead this vulnerable species. Survival should be made easier for the innocent, and we have the capacity and compassion to do so. This is just one example of many ways we can help wildlife return to some form of normality. Plastic in our waters is a huge problem. Turtles often confuse plastic carrier bags for jellyfish and die as a result. Deaths are also caused by entanglement. The short convenience of plastic has a massively long consequence on the environment. Efforts have been made to reduce plastic waste from the ocean. Recycling, reusing, and upcycling are all methods used to limit pollution and plastic use. In the meantime, there is a lot of litter to clean up. One method of regenerating our landscape is to plant native trees. Mangroves are more than a suitable answer. They thrive in low oxygen soil, where slow-moving waters allow sediments to gather. In time, as mangrove forests grow and spread, local wildlife will be encouraged to return. Here they can feed, nest, and repopulate. At King Abdullah University for Science and Technology, research is being done to save the coral. Coral is threatened by climate change, with increasing temperatures causing inhospitable environments. Artificial coral bases are 3D scanned and replicas are made. A small number of live coral fragments are then applied to these bases. These small coral pieces grow faster than larger ones and are quick to join each other on the models. They are grown further in artificially warmer water than the sea. This makes them tougher and more tolerant of higher temperatures. A whole variety are cultivated this way to match the over 300 coral species of the Red Sea. When large enough, they are returned to the ocean and planted amongst the dying coral. In time, these coral will grow to be stronger and better suited to withstand an element of climate change. Additionally, they'll provide food and shelter for local fish populations and marine life.
Flying above the sea, the fishhawk, also known as the osprey, is a resident of the Farrison Island.
They are efficient and exceptional hunters. They have long legs and large talons, and their feet on the underside are covered with small spines called spicules, which hold their catch securely. The chicks won't fledge until over 7 weeks. Until then, they rely on their parents to bring food to the nest. The birds have evolved hooked beaks, perfect for tearing the flesh of the fish. Ospreys are known to pair for life, and their nests, known as an eyrie, can be used and added to year on year. Some nests are known to be used for over 20 years by the same pair. The world is not ours alone. Whilst we benefit in many ways from what the land and nature provides, we must look after the planet. For us to survive, we must learn to live in harmony with nature and change our ways in order to ensure sustained health and well-being for all Earth's inhabitants.